You ready? Okay. We'll do 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so hey everybody, my name's Jaxler, and this is SpongeBob's Truth or Square Any %. So this game is actually a game adaptation of the SpongeBob's Truth or Square TV special, I think. Yeah, I didn't know about it either when I bought this game, but apparently it's a thing.
So let me get this straight.
So this game was extremely rushed because they had to release it in time for the release of this show premiere or whatever. So we're gonna abuse the developers' oversights when producing this game in order to go really fast. Also like to shout out the on-screen trivia during loading screens. For those of you in chat, I highly recommend you play along. It's really fun, and some of the questions are really stupid. So this first level is Jellyfish Fields. We're going to be looking for these robots up ahead to spawn favorably for us. They have a number of positions they can spawn in, and they can also kind of randomly wander. That was kind of lucky. So if I get really lucky, the robots can actually spawn next to each other, and I can hit 2 with 1 swing. If I do that, it saves having to do as many swings, and it's kind of fast. So I got really lucky on the robots right there. So they were all really close together. The nice thing about those robots, though, is they can't really kill a run because it doesn't lose you too much time if they're in a bad spot. It's like a second or 2. So I'm going to be walking straight into this area of the map. This is hopefully going to get the robots to align so that they're in a favorable spot where I can double hit them. And then I'm looking for this robot in the back to be... Oh, he's kind of far away. That's unfortunate. So I'm going to have to take for the single hits. He can sometimes spawn pretty close to you and you can get another double hit. So I got a little unlucky there. So I'm going to head up here, and then I'm just going to do a nice, fast little jump up here. Just keeps going around and kill this last guy. Okay, so for this first trick, I'm going to start by setting up on this Gary Tiki statue thing. And I'm going to use it to jump to this ledge. So I'm going to see if I get it. Ooh. Alright, I miss it. That's fine. There we go, second try. So normally, you have to like go around and move this like giant jar of jellyfish jam or whatever. But we just jump over there and skip that. So normally that would be really easy, but the way this game works is that you only unlock levels, when you unlock a new level, you get a new power-up. And there's a spin power-up that you unlock with the second level that like extends your horizontal distance, but you don't get that until you get to that second level, so that makes several of these tricks really hard in the any % category. Alright, so coming up after this section are the barrels. So there are these barrel objects that can roll around, and they have some weird physics. Luckily for us, we can if we position ourselves correctly, we can manipulate them to sort of break this level. So I'm going to come up to this barrel over here. I'm going to try to knock it over on its side and get it on this plank of wood. And I'm going to use it as a platform to jump me up. Ooh, it's rolling a little bit away. Okay. There we go. Alright, we got it. So that's the first barrel. That's the easy one. This next one coming up ahead is a lot trickier because we need it to stand up. And getting it to stand up is really hard. We're actually going to grab this little power-up. It's called Spongebuff. I'm not going to explain what Spongebuff is useful for until a little later. So right there I did an animation cancel. By hitting hammer on the wall like that, it does a faster animation, which saves no time. Ooh, this barrel's being funky. Come on. There we go. So now I just got to push it into this corner, and then I can use this to jump up. So this jump in particular is really tricky. Come on. Almost there. Almost there. There we go. Alright, we got it. So that jumps really hard because the barrel actually has a weird kind of thing where if you try to jump off the edge of it, it'll not give you enough height. So I'm going to walk on this railing right here. There's a hitbox here for some reason. And if you just jump down, you skip like having to do that whole slide. Alright, so we got a fight coming up here. And to end off the level, what I want to do is I want to get this guy, and then I want to go left and then right. This is going to... I can't quite explain why it works. I don't really know why. But it sets up the robots in a way to spawn that is really helpful for us. So then I'm going to just grab this one, and then there should be one right here. And another guy should spawn right over there in just a sec. Where is he? There he is. Sometimes he can spawn late for no reason. It's kind of annoying. I got a really weird fight. Alright, I'm just going to kill this guy. So the key to going fast here is making sure you're killing robots as fast as possible. There's a little bit of leniency, and the reason why is the game only lets there be 5 robots on the field at one time. So as long as you have space for a robot to be active, you can grab like a power-up, for example, and not lose that much time. So that's the first level. We got a jellyfishing net. So the way this game tracks progression is you get these like happiness objects. It gives you one at the end of the end of each level, and it gives you there's 2 in each level, which you can revisit to go grab. We only do that in some other runs of the game, such as the 100% speedrun. But for us, getting those is slow. So. You've probably got time for a donation if there's any. Don't have any? Alright. Alright, so we're heading into Kelp Forest right now. Along with the previous level, this level tends to cause a lot of resets. Reason being is a lot of the tricks in this level are very difficult, especially for new players of this game. So we get the spin move now finally, and we're going to abuse that a little bit later into the level. So there's a robot fight coming up ahead, but I'm going to try to skip it with a really precise trick, and I'll explain it if I get it. Oh, almost got it. Oh, come on. Ooh, I'm low on health. I might not be able to get it. Yeah, alright, that's fine. We'll go for it one more time, and then if we don't get it, I'll play it the normal way.
Happiness is as happiness does. This is kind of neat. I am the sponge.
Ooh, that was really bad.
Finding happiness sure is painful.
Almost had it. Come on. It's so close. Yeah, alright. I'll go for it one more time, and if I'm running low on health, I'll just kill them. It's a cool trick, so it's worth showing off.
I'm so happy I could hug a jellyfish hide.
Oh, come on. Oh, I got sent through the floor. Oh, that happens sometimes. Oh, it looks like we're going for it again. If I don't... Yeah, I have to be careful because this game has a lives system, so if you run out, it just sends you back to the title screen. Or not to the... back to the hub, which is really slow.
I'm so happy I could hug a jellyfish hide.
Oh, almost had it.
Hey, where's the love?
Alright, let's just kill him.
I'm gonna nail you to the ground. This is kind of...
At this point, it's just faster to kill them. Where's that gonna put me? I haven't completed this the normal way in so long.
I spin around, you go down.
Oops.
Let's play spin wheel.
It's a little bit unfortunate I didn't get that trick. So what I was going for was a trick called hammer boost. So if you jump above one of those hammer bots, while their hammer is swung above their shoulder, they'll like boost you up. And I was hoping for them to boost me up onto the ledge, but I was not getting very lucky there. So I'm just gonna kill these guys here. A little bit of a funky fight. So now that we have the spin move, we can do a trick called spin boosting. So you've seen earlier these spinning enemies, and if I jump into them and spin right after I jump, and I hit the spinner, it'll give me an insane amount of knockback. Just like that. And that'll let me skip the second half of that fight. So that's something we're going to be using frequently through this level in order to skip really annoying and bad combat segments. So funny enough, we actually recently discovered a new skip in this level that allows you to skip right to this room without having to do that combat sequence I did. But it's essentially TAS at this point. It's not viable for humans to be doing right now because it's so hard. There we go, got another spin boost. We're gonna skip that section right there. So let's talk about Spongebob real quick. So Spongebob, the way it works is that it normally just increases your damage that you do for all of your moves, and it also increases sort of their range and their size. Another cool thing that it conveniently does for us is it increases your base run speed, and it also makes your spin move make you move really fast. So we're going to be doing a series of like short hops and spins in order to move as fast as possible whenever we have this power up. The problem though with the power up is the moment you get hit, you lose it. So part of being good at this game is that you have to make sure that you can maintain sponge buff throughout each level that you plan to use it in. Coming up is a really scary trick. It's another spin boost, but this one in particular is hard because I have to get a lot of height and there's a lot of enemies that try to hurt you. Oh, I almost died. Nice, first try. So that spin jump's really hard because of the height, so sometimes you'll get the spin jump but you won't have the height you need and you'll just sink. So that gives that whole giant fight puzzle segment. It's really slow. I'm gonna do another animation cancel on that gate right there. Just gonna slam on the gate and that's gonna let me start walking just a little bit faster. I'm gonna go for a swag strat here. Oh, nice, I got it. Alright. That's a really dumb trick. You can just jump over the fence. So normally you need a Sandy power-up to get through here and destroy all these like Venus flytrap like flowers. But if you just spin in the and jump in the right spots, he'll never bother you. Alright, I'm gonna get this spinner over here, and then we're gonna spin jump to skip this final section. Nice, got that one first try. That one can be really scary if you don't nab it first try, because the hammer robot that's off screen is very aggressive. So I'm really glad I have Sponge Buff here, because it's gonna make this little boss fight fast. I'm gonna start by going over to this wall, and his spin attack is dependent on like how far he can go across the stage. So if you just go into a wall, he'll just do it super short. And because we have Sponge Buff, we do 2 damage to him instead of 1, so we essentially 2-cycle him instead of the normal 3-cycle. And there he goes. Such a hard boss. Shoutouts to the Beatles. Yellow Submarine. I'm sorry. Yep, hopefully I stand in the right spot. It should just put me right through the chest. Oh, I was like a hair off of the right spot. And that's the end of the level. Where am I at on time right now? Not bad. Alright, so we're gonna be heading into our first primary boss fight here. This is the Robo Patrick fight. There's not too much going on here. The big key with this fight is, other than the atrocious length of the loading screens with this level, is that there's gonna be waves of robots, and the key to going fast is just to kill them as fast as possible. So that's sort of the main key. Other than that, not too much going on. One thing that I should note is I'm playing this on the Wii version right now. So there are two primary versions. There's this version, which is the Wii version, and there's Xbox 360. Xbox 360 probably saves about 2 to 3 minutes due to loading screens. It just loads the game faster, so you can get to the next level faster. We're gonna wait for this guy to stop spinning. That would have been really bad if he hit me. Just gonna smack him in the butt. There are also a handful of other versions of a game supposedly called Truth or Square, but they're all different. So there's like one for the PlayStation Portable, there's a DS game. None of them are the same thing. It's really weird. Yeah, so basically for each of these phases, when Robopat comes down, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm standing off to the side and then moving from left to right. And that's phase 2. I want to go over here for these robots over here. These guys are mean, so I want to kill them quick. Good save. Alright, that was a little bit of a slow fight, but not too big of a deal. Let's Robopat. There's not too much you can do. Oop, we're on the goop. Alright, so normally that goop's supposed to mess you up, but you can just literally stand on the side of it and Robopat to manipulate him to just move over this way. And that's Robopat. Very difficult fight. That was so hard. And then for some reason we're gonna get a hot dog with a... I don't even know what kind of meat it is, because it's like green. I don't know. It's kind of gross. I wouldn't touch it if I were you, but...
I can feel the happy.
Alright, so now we're transitioning into the to the mid-game. So this is where kind of the run starts to break down a little bit. We've got one kind of normal level, slightly normal level coming up, but then it's gonna start getting pretty broken. B? Answer is B. Oh, what is it gonna be? The loading screen's taking so long, I can't know. Oh, you gotta run. Yo, for the people in chat, $1, donate $1 for everyone you get wrong. Also, shoutouts to the best quote in the game. Jiggle me handles, Spongebob. Yeah. That's the dab. The dab jar. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so we're coming into the fry cook level. This level is actually based on like the first episode of SpongeBob, which was like the one with the anchovies. It was like anchovies. And that really action movie Mr. Krabs voice. Fun fact, the voice actor for Mr. Krabs in this game is actually not the one from the show. And he does a terrible job of portraying Mr. Krabs. But alright, so this bus is kind of an auto-scroller. There's not too much I can do to speed this up. So, any donations? Negative? Okay. Curses. So I can sometimes get unlucky with... Oh, what? That was weird. Oh, and he's gonna block my shot. Oh my gosh, how did that get around him? Alright, so I'm gonna jump around to the side. That avoids a text box that pops up. Oh, come on. Yes. Alright, so fun fact about that bus. You can actually hit the button before it stops moving. But if you do, the bus just like stays there for like 3 to 5 seconds. So it's actually fast to wait for the bus to stop and then hit the button. It's kind of silly. This game in general was just kind of a silly game. I mean, we're going through an open air car wash right now. I mean, like... Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna jump around this pier over here. That's gonna skip a cutscene, which like locks you in place for 10 seconds. So this is a big trick coming up here. I'm gonna just do it and then I'll explain it. Looks good. Nice, we got it first try. Okay. Thank you for the pity clap. The solo clap. Checkpoint. Okay, so the way that trick works is the propellers on those rotating bumper, like, I don't even know, like pinball bumpers. They only have a hitbox on the little dot that connects all the fans together. So if you land on that, you can get your jump back. But if you land on like the blade of it, you can't. It's also constantly spinning, so you have to adjust your jump in such a way that you just don't go flying off. So this, filling this up is actually required. You could actually jump up here and skip it, but they literally put an invisible wall there so you can't. It's really dumb. So this puzzle area is really long. We're gonna skip the whole thing. We're gonna hit this. Normally we don't have to, but it keeps these propellers down for another propeller jump we're gonna do. So we're gonna jump to this guy, and then jump up to this post. Turn around, and then we're gonna jump over this massive invisible wall, and we just skip the whole area. Really glad I got that. Alright, we're gonna grab this power-up to kill. We have to kill these robots. This power-up's actually really good because it deals a lot of damage in a very short amount of time. The only problem with it, though, is it has a really, like, Squidward can't really shoot from the hip. Like, he can't do anything at point-blank range. So you really, you have to, like, back up in order to hit things with it. It's not that big of a deal in this section, but in some of the other categories for this game, it's a little bit more of an issue. But if you have a choice between the three, that's the one you want to pick. It just rips through the robots. Oh, I almost fell off. So I'm gonna come up here on this tiki, and then I'm gonna use that to jump to a later part of the track. Now I'm gonna go for YOLO shot over here. I don't really get it that often, but nice, I got it. All right, let me see if I can YOLO this shot too. No, too early. Okay, so normally you're supposed to wait for the correct side of the thing, the bumper to appear, but if you launch a shot at it when the angle is just right, you can ricochet it off the wrong side and it will still hit the button. It looks really cool if you get it. But if you mistime it, where it's like just the perpendicular face, it'll just come right back and hit you. It's really bad. Any donations? Excuse you. Your immune system donated to you one illness. Alright, so we're coming up on Santa right now. This level is based on the Spongebob Christmas special where Santa kind of goes crazy pretending to be Santa. But it's in like the Krusty Krab freezer for some reason. I don't know. This game is really weird and it's kind of bad, but it's great. It's a great speedrun. Very fun to speedrun for some reason. Fun fact, when I first bought this game, I bought it for like $5 at GameStop. And then I started playing it and I'm like, this is terrible. So I learned all the speedrun strats so I could say that I beat the game. So this level is really broken. So we're going to come over here to this bomb bot and kill him. We're going to use these ice blocks as a platform to jump up here. We're not supposed to be up here. Then we're going to jump to this little lip. And then we're going to jump out of bounds. So we are outside of the map right now. And there's a little bit of floor just outside the invisible walls of the room. So we're going to navigate throughout this floor. And we're going to move as far as we can to the left.
Yeah, now a triple action mega axle.
And that's the end of the level. So the way this game works is it considers the level beaten if you receive the happiness object at the end of the level. And something this game and a lot of other games like to do is, in order to save on processing, they leave some objects out of bounds, because in order for the computer to say boom, you exist, it kind of takes a bit more processing. So if they just say it exists in advance, they kind of save on some processing like mid game. So yeah, if you just navigate out of bounds, you can just grab that and you end the level. In the run where you collect every happiness object, you can actually, all three of them are right on top of each other. So I only collected the bottom one because if you collect the top ones, it gives you a text box and you lose a second. But if you grab all three, you just finish the level for the all happiness objects run. It's really hilarious. You never have to revisit. It's great. You do in 100%, but all right. So we're in Murmelair right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here to this rock, and this rock has a hitbox. So I'm gonna jump on this rock, jump over here, go out of bounds, and that's Murmelair. All right. So for some reason, normally every other level you're supposed to trigger the end by grabbing the end of the happiness object, and it actually is in that little spot under the floor. But for some reason, there is also a trigger behind that door that triggers the end of the level as well. So, yeah, I don't know. Alright, so normally we're supposed to go on to the next level, but I kind of want to just play some more Murmelair. I'm going to work on my individual level speedrun for this mid-marathon. Evo!
Where?
What? Where? Ooh, that was pretty fast. Nice. Alright. I don't think that would have PB'd my IL, but yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, I just decided to do it again. Yeah, these trivia games are great. So if you look over there, you see Mr. Krabs has spawned in. So when I said that I was just doing this level again for fun, I completely lied to you. So what's actually going on is, you might have noticed that when I hit the storybook again, that's where you go to revisit levels. You might have seen that the next level after Murmelair had unlocked in that book. So the way this game works is that there is a value within the game's memory that determines how many levels that you've beaten. So when I started out the game, it was at 0, and when I beat Jellyfish Fields for the first time, it set it to 1. So normally the way it works is it will increment when you grab either an end level happiness object, or for some reason when you hit this trigger. So essentially by doing this trick 5 to 6 times, we trick the game into thinking that we've beaten levels that we actually haven't. So essentially by repeating this trick 5 times or so, we can skip all the other levels leading up to the final boss. So normally we could also make it look like we completed the final boss in the storybook, but that doesn't really count for a speedrun because we normally want to actually see the end credits. So now you see I'm on like the Act 3 page, even though I've not even played the Act 2 boss. So we're gonna just keep doing this until we can talk to Patrick, and then Patrick's gonna let us go to the final boss. So while I'm running through this loop, if you will, I'd like to give a couple of shout-outs. The first shout I'd like to give is to a guy named Cole. He is considered like the godfather of SpongeBob speedrunning as a whole. He discovered not only this glitch, but almost every other glitch in this game, and a lot of glitches in some of the other speedrun SpongeBob games. So it is thanks to him that we have the community that we do, and we have the awesome speedruns that we do. This run would not be here and would not be as fast without him. So thanks to Cole. I'd also like to thank a guy named Tedious, who's been a good supportive friend in the SpongeBob running community, and he's just been helping me to push this game a bit further. Just a general shout out to everyone in my stream, all my family back home, and the academy. You know. All right, so when we get spawned back in the way back of the room, that's the cue that we know that we've got one more loop of it to do, and then we can go do the final boss. Oh man, what color are his eyes? I can't even tell from the CRT. Oh, I thought they were okay. Ebu! What? Where? Alright, so interesting thing is I can actually use that slope to jump all the way up to the top. Normally there's like a secondary hitbox of the rock that you use to get up there. But as long as you hit that slope in the right way, you can just catapult right to the top of the rock. It's really hard. It saves half a second every time you get it. So, I mean, if you get it all 5 times, you save like 2.5 seconds, which is pretty nice. But I mean, it is what it is. So that was the last time we have to do it. So now we're going to go talk to Patrick. He's going to take us to the final boss. I've got a what?
I remember, Patrick. The formula is...
Oh yeah, I know. Oh, that's Tedious. That's who I shouted out. Yeah. I'll see you at the I'll see you at the funeral, Tedious. Yeah, he plays on Wii U. It's actually faster to play on the Wii than the Wii U for some reason. The other thing is if I'm actually playing with a GameCube controller, and the default control is a Wii remote and nunchuck with motion controls. Yeah, it's really bad. The motion controls for this game are really dumb, and it's really hard to do multi-spins. Okay, so this is the final boss. It's 3 phases, and it's for the most part an auto-scroller until we get inside the actual robot to deal damage. The key to going fast, as usual, is to kill robots really quickly, so not too much going on. Gonna wait for this fight, and then... doo-doo-doo. There we go. Alright, so I want to explain a little bit about some of the other categories of this game. So normally this category is pretty cool because of how fast and broken it is. But it's kind of silly at the same time because you have to do Murmulair 5 times in a row and then this boss fight. So there's a couple other pretty cool categories. I mentioned all happiness objects. You get to essentially in that run see all the other levels. Normally, quick note, you're supposed to jump over that, but I'm just going to spin through it because I'm cool. So yeah, so the all happiness objects run is pretty cool. There's a bunch of other levels that you don't really get to see in this run, such as Rock Bottom, which is a really cool level. You get to see Rock Bottom skip, which essentially lets you skip like 50% of the level, which is pretty great. You also have Karate Island, which is awful actually, but it's got some cool stuff. Good, okay, that's the first phase. The key to making sure that I go fast is to maintain this buff power-up for as long as possible. So what I'm trying to do is to kill as many of those robots as I can, because even when it's in the cutscene for, so, like, even when it's in the cutscene for like, oh, we're locking you in place for right now, for the cinematic shot, they can still hit you in that and get rid of your buff. I don't know why the devs did that, but it's really dumb. Oh my gosh, that was a really bad fight.
I'm so happy I can hug and tell you this time.
Nice, alright. When you have the buff, you have to avoid getting hit by the fist, so it's a little bit tricky. Alright, so the nice thing about having buff here is now I can go straight behind me instead of having to pick up an extra buff. Oh! What? Alright, looks like we're doing the second phase again. That has never happened before. Okay, So we know that hammer bots can clip you out of bounds, but I've never seen it happen there before. That's really unfortunate. Oh, he almost did it again. All right, so that's gonna lose. I don't think we're gonna hit estimate now because of that. Yeah. I started early too, so I mean. Alright, so now that we lost our buff, we're gonna have to pick up another one. Not a big deal though. Oh, don't hit me, please. Please don't send me back into the floor. Alright, and there's the second phase. Please don't hit me. Okay, you're stuck behind the heart. I don't know why there's a giant mechanical heart in there, but it's there. I don't know. So normally losing your buff in that phase actually isn't a big deal as long as you kill the heart, because there's actually another one, like a backup one over here. But it doesn't matter because of course I managed to get through there without that. I get clipped through the floor, but then I have a perfect phase 2 after that. Good fight. Oh, so trampolines are really bad in this game. If you bounce on them, like the way I just did... Oh, I lost buff. That's unfortunate. I got a little too greedy. Alright, that's not a big deal. This run's already pretty bad anyway.
I hope I don't lose my lunch.
Alright, coming up on this last phase. So, time's going to be coming up when I do the last bit of damage to this heart thing, so I'll let you know when to split. Oh, he almost got me. Time soon? Time! 38 flat. Not great, but I will take it. Oh, man. I can't believe that happened. I lost like 3 minutes alone to that mishap. So, alright, that was SpongeBob's Truth or Square any percent. My name's Jaxler, and thank you guys for watching. I think we've got Cuphead All Bosses by SWC up next. That's gonna be hype. So,
What is this?
what is this? Thank you guys for watching.